Have you ever wondered if a receipt gets sent when a client pays an invoice or not inside of your Dubsado? Well, I'm going to confirm that for you today and show you how to make sure it's going out. I'm Lauren with The Smarter Creative. I am a Dubsado certified specialist. I am helping creative entrepreneurs work smarter in their business instead of harder. And I'm here to support you in all of your Dubsado woes that we have. When it comes to sending reminders to a payment that is coming due, Dubsado does wonderful with that, but it does not automatically send a payment receipt, a thank you for your payment, inside of Dubsado. Now, what does happen is if you have a third-party application tied to your Dubsado, it will automatically send a receipt. Hopefully, I'm going to show you how those go out and what it looks like for the 3 different payment providers that Dubsado works with. Dubsado does not actually, Dubsado the company, does not actually take money from the client and send it to you. They work with these third parties in order to have the payments go through, and Dubsado is really just a record keeper of it. But if you want to send them a payment through Dubsado, we're going to show you how to do that. This is great, especially if you're working with clients who like to pay by check or cash, or they send you a ACH payment like directly from their bank to your bank, and they don't go through Stripe or Square or PayPal. So those are the 3 payment providers that Dubsado works with. There are other CRM systems like Honeybook is actually your payment provider. And they are the ones, if you were to give a refund or something, it would go through Honeybook and they'd be the ones to give it. I like the fact that Dubsado uses these third parties because that means you get the best rate and you're not stuck with using your CRM platform for these payment processors. There's peaks and pits, there's good and bad on each side, but I like Dubsado, I like the options, and I like being able to choose the options. So we're going to look at what it looks like when a receipt gets automatically sent through PayPal, Stripe, and Square, and the different brand settings and ways you can customize those invoices. I'll show you what that looks like and how to set them up if you can set them up. And then we'll go into Dubsado and how to use smart fields to send an invoice receipt to it. And I actually have that exact canned email just down in the description below for you to use as you need it. I hope it helps you and serves you. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so we're going to look at what it is when I make a payment through PayPal. So let's go ahead and look at here. Perfect. Okay, so I have an invoice set just for $1. Let's go ahead and pay it. I have options to pay with a check, a card, or PayPal. Let's go ahead and pay with PayPal. This is what it looks like on your client side. I'm sure you've done this 900 times before, paying with PayPal. So we're just going to go ahead and pay. Lovely. Thank you for your payment. It's been sent, no problem. My remainder is 0. Now I'm going to go look at that payment receipt. So my payment receipt that I get automatically from PayPal confirms that I sent that dollar amount to the Smarter Creative, and it has the email associated with my PayPal account for the Smarter Creative. It has a transaction ID, the merchant that sold it, and then my information as the buyer, the invoice from the Smarter Creative, the description, the total amount charged, and then on my credit card statement it says how it's going to show up on their credit card or bank statement, whatever's tied to their PayPal. So to me, this is great. I mean, this is enough of a payment receipt. I feel like it'd be a lot to have this go through and then another invoice, but it is your choice to make fully. Okay, now we're gonna look at it with Stripe. So pay with e-check or card is for my Dubsado, it's connected to my Stripe account. I believe you can also connect your Square account to it, and you can attach your Square as well, but this is going to be Stripe settings. So let's go ahead and pay with a card. And my card information. Perfect. My dollar has been sent through my card, and let's go ahead and look at what that looks like in a receipt. And I have my receipt from the Smarter Creative, amount paid. So my stripe is actually like full. Those are my brand colors. It's branded to me. You can't really adjust these ugly stripes, but that's okay. It says like how I paid, the amount paid, the date paid, and everything. So it just says payment to and then your brand name, but it has, if you have any questions, you can contact us. So my reply though to this goes to my info at. It doesn't, even though it came from receipts at payments.thesmartercreative, my reply to will go directly to my info at email. So in order to hook up a Stripe or a Square or PayPal, you're going to come under settings and receive money. And you do have to choose your what currency you receive and what country you're in. Perfect. We're going to save. Lovely. So you can connect Stripe or Square, one of those, and you can also connect PayPal with either of those. So in your Square, so I only use Square for my jewelry business that I have, but in your account settings, so if you come up here, you have account settings, and then under business, you have receipt, and this is receipt, and this is where your logos are going to come through, and you can see what it looks like for a framed format or a full format one, and then you can pick the brand colors here. It'll ask to show the description, your business name, which you can edit your details, if you want the location, and you also have like contact information for you, which appears right here at the bottom of everything, and your phone number if you want. So that email comes directly from Square as soon as a payment is made, and that happens no matter what. Like even if you go to a coffee shop and they have a Square point of sale service, like you're going to get an email from them, and it will be whatever email is tied to your Square that people can reply to and actually contact you on, and you can have as much information that you want. So inside of your PayPal settings, you have your business information of what you want it to look like on the receipt, and in the email information you can always update as well, but that's going to be static for the receipts within PayPal, and you cannot turn off that receipt via PayPal. That is something that PayPal will automatically send somebody when they use PayPal to buy something, which is a good thing. And then inside of Stripe, I'm up in settings, a little gear here in settings, and we have a few different options here. So we have branding. This is where you're going to be able to put in a brand color and an accent color. And it shows like where the different colors come through as. So my brand color is up in my header, and then the accent color would be any buttons or things. It has an icon for you and a place to put a logo. As often as I can have it actually be my logo instead of my icon, I prefer that. You just save changes as soon as you're happy with it. In that branding, I clicked on connect settings, and I'm so glad I did, because under business details branding, it says how it's going to show up on your bank statements and things. I want it to be the Smarter Creative, and I want to apply my branding to everything. I'm going to save this so far, and then I'm going to go ahead and update my brand colors. My brand colors, that, and then my accent, I'm going to keep it the same that it was before. Lovely. And I don't know about any of the other settings. I'm just going to leave it there now. Go back to my dashboard. Okay. So then emails. Now, so Stripe is a little different than PayPal, where it actually has more information about what you might be able to send to your client. And it's more customized, as we've seen. So I want to email customers about successful payments. I want them to get a confirmation that, yep, a payment's been made. And if there are any refunds, I want them to receive that as well. And I have all of these checked off. I have no idea what they all mean, but I'm guessing they are required. So we're just going to leave them. I do not need anything else replied. But I do have support email. In my account settings is where my email replies will go to, and that's my chosen email account. And then the custom domains is what I have as my preferred sending domain, and that is edited in custom domains, and you can add your own custom domain. And you want to connect it here. It should have instructions to it. No. Perfect. And then if you can always add a domain, and there are like learn more instructions on how exactly to make sure your domain is set up properly with the different options and the DNS records that just have to be updated for it. I highly recommend it, and make sure, your DMARC's on and everything. It just ensures that the sending of it goes through and actually lands in inboxes for your clients. And that is how you customize your Stripe email receipt and make sure it goes out. So I will show you how to put a confirmation email in Dubsado and send it out with all the right smart fields and everything. But I just want to go over why it's not my preferred method of sending a receipt, especially for that initial payment, either if you take a deposit or if you take payment in full. This is why I don't really want to send it. They're going to get a confirmation most likely unless you turn it off from Stripe, and they will get it from Square and PayPal because those you cannot turn off. So they're already going to get a confirmation that their payment has been made. And then, I have it set that a client signs a contract, a job started workflow will begin. The client then makes a deposit payment or an initial payment. And then I want to send a welcome email to them that says, I'm so excited to be working with you. Thank you for your payment. Thank you for all the information for your deposit. Mention it in the welcome email. You do not need to send an additional thank you for your payment email at that point, because that's so many confirmations coming their way. Possibly if you have in that initial email, you have forms you need to edit to get a bulk questionnaire to them or something, then maybe something could go out to them immediately. But honestly, even if this takes you 24 hours to get out, it's not a big deal. They received confirmation receipt already from you that they have made a payment to you. And as long as you're reaching out to them within 24 hours on next steps and how to begin, that's great. And then possibly when your client makes a final payment, then this would be a spot that says, thank you for paying your invoice in full. Here's your final, here's a review of it. And the fact that there's no more payments left, I could see where that would make sense to send out much more so than a deposit payment. So let's look at how to send that. Okay, so I have a canned email drafted that is a payment receipt. It just says, thank you for your payment. Here's your invoice link. This invoice link is literally a link invoice. This is going to be your primary invoice on the account. So if you have multiple invoices at any one point in time on a project, it's only going to send the primary invoice. So this is not a problem on the majority of projects I see, especially with a specific outcome. If you're a wedding photographer, you have a brand shoot, you're designing a website, you are doing a branding package, whatever it is, there's usually just one invoice that you're really working on. If you are doing a recurring payment, maybe you have someone on a retainer, this isn't going to work for you as well, because that's going to be based on the payment plan. But if this is just like a one big project, one invoice, great, this is going to work for you. This canned email also just refers to the fact that they can find all the information in their client portal. And at the very bottom, we have a order summary. I have a little line in here, which all you do for that is you go to formatting options and you insert a horizontal line. And then we have the order summary based on their invoice. And it has how much is remaining and the payment schedule that you all agreed on. And that would be under your email signature. That's just my preference of how I would want it. You can modify this however. So let's go ahead and save and close. And then I'm going to duplicate that one because I want it to be a final payment receipt. And I will have this for you guys in a link down below to grab if you want to use it. I'm going to leave the subject the same. And then I'm going to say thank you. The order summary, and then I'm going to take off the payment schedule underneath that, since the remainder should be 0 and there's no longer a payment schedule to abide by. But the same, all of this is pulling information off of the primary invoice, and to be able to see what invoice is the primary invoice, you can go over to invoices and go to invoice list. And whichever one is highlighted is the primary. So if you have multiples and you want to switch this one to the primary, you can do that. Just make sure you do that before any remainders get sent. But like I said, the majority of clients I work with only send one invoice. They're very upfront about like the payment, how much what this is going to cost. And then there's a payment plan to that one invoice. So how do you make sure that those emails go out automatically? Because it is not a setting in an invoice to send confirmation emails. You can send, and I would highly suggest sending on your payment plan, the fact that, let's see, if I do a pay in full, here I have remainder sent out right before the due date and after the due date. I highly suggest making sure those are included, but those do not send out payment confirmation receipts. You're going to want to, in your workflows, have it there. So let's just go ahead and add a new workflow. I'm going to call it. Okay, so send payment confirmation. So we are going to want a payment plan. So maybe I have a $100 deposit, and then I'm going to add an action, send email. And instead of after all previous actions complete, I want to send email when a installment has been paid, and it's going to ask which one you're looking for. So I'm going to say 0 days after contract is signed, and then it would be the payment received, payment receipt. Great. Apply. And then it would be another one, send an email. This time I'm going to say when invoice is paid in full. If you had multiple payment plans, you could have one for each of them. And I can even have this for after installment is paid and the 7 days, my final one. And then I would do the receipt and would send the final receipt. So my only issue with this is that payment plan for me is often on the proposal proposal side of things, not necessarily on the workflow side of things. So under workflows, for my normal workflows that I have, I might here, instead of having a initial one, just add a email to the that my final payment went through. So as soon as my invoice is paid in full, this will get sent out. And I like that because it doesn't matter if there's a payment plan on the project or not. This email will go through as soon as an invoice is paid in full that says, hey, like, great, you are paid. Here's a confirmation of it. Wonderful. This email does say like, hey, again, all of your documents, things are in the client portal. Hopefully in my intro email that I have in this workflow, that initial one would be my, like, I'm so excited to be working with you. Here's information about your client portal. That is there. That is how you can send a receipt email with your Dubsado. And I hope that was exactly what you needed today. If not, if you're still super confused, I'd love to come into your Dubsado to help you out. I have different ways of working with you. If you just need like a little bit of strategy and a short call, if you need a workflow built out, or maybe you are ready to have your entire Dubsado built out, I am here for you. I would love to partner with you. Down below, there is a link to schedule a free clarity call just to talk through it. If I'm a good fit for you, if you're, if I can help you inside of your Dubsado, I'd love to do that. In the meantime, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications. I'm putting new videos out every week on ways to get your creative business organized in the behind the scenes using Dubsado, Flowdesk, Notion. I'll sometimes hit on Honeybook as well, but those are my 3 favorite platforms to use right now in order to stay organized. And if there's anything that you want to see inside of those platforms, drop a note down below and let me know. I love to create videos for content that you guys are actually wanting and needing answers to, and I'll usually try to get it in the next week's video, unless I have something else really planned or already recorded. But within a few weeks, I'll get that out to you, and I'm excited to hear from you, and I'll see you guys next week.